What's up, everyone? I'm Johnny.
And I'm Elliot.
And welcome to the Sport Mind Avenue podcast, the intersection of all things currently happening in sports and the psychological impacts it can have on athletes and the community.
And if you want to learn more about how to improve your mental understanding of sports, or you just wish to view more podcasts like this one, then go check out mind-designsports.org and get your head in the game.
Welcome back to the Sport Mind Avenue podcast, the intersection of all things currently happening in sports and the mental impacts it can have on athletes in the community. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight, the Julio Jones trade. We have more playoff talk for you. We also have a Ben's breakdown, and we're drafting the hardest positions in sports. So that being said, what's going on, boys? How are we doing today?
Not much, just chilling.
Doing well. Currently posted up in West Virginia.
What you doing
nice.
up there?
Fun fact, West Virginia, if you look at it on the map, kind of looks like the middle finger.
Yeah, it actually does.
Yeah, I learned that today.
Okay, very nice. I'm currently back up in Gainesville, Florida, so I guess we're all kind of on the move at the moment.
I'm in back. I'm actually home in New Hampshire, so I'm chilling.
All right, so we're all kind of moving around a little bit. All right, boys. So the first topic I want to discuss with you is kind of like the big news of the weekend, I guess the past month as well. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. So before we break it down, let me give the quick overall synopsis. So they had an exhibition match on Sunday night. It went the distance. No one got knocked out, despite that being the goal. There were no judges. There's not much to summarize other than that. It was a big star-studded attendance. T.O. was there. Chad Johnson was fighting. Ocho got knocked down. It was really interesting.
Lil Baby and Migos perform.
Yeah,
Migos?
I mean, it was
Oh
quite
my
the
god,
event.
that Migos, what song were they singing? Something.
Straightening.
Dude, I heard on the radio. I heard that on the radio yesterday, and I was just like, I just thought of that fight. I was like, God, such a freaking cringy ass fight. And
Bro, they made him like walk all the way around the ring.
They're
I was
walking
like, what
around,
is this?
walking,
This
going,
is
straighten
terrible.
Straighten it. It was awful. Migos was terrible. It was like the worst. It was so
Like
bad.
I enjoy Migos music, but like that performance was not it at all. That was not the one. All right. Anyway, what are you guys' thoughts on the fight?
I would like to start off with a little story. So, I was not trying to pay $50 for the pay-per-view, so I was trying to see how I could get it. Went all the way up until the fight. Nothing was working. I was about to cry. Very sad that I could not watch this fight. And all of a sudden, I was scrolling through Snapchat, looking at stories, and I see one of my friends is at the fight. I message him, I FaceTime him, I'm like, yo, like, can you live stream this for me? Because I can't find a way to watch this. And he's like, yeah, I got you. 5 minutes later, I get a notification from Instagram. Anthony Donato is live streaming. I watched the entire fight, first-hand account from the ring. It was so awesome. Never had any commercials. Right there in the fight. It was beautiful.
I mean, wow. Yeah, I mean, your friend's going to probably be arrested for that now, I guess. So that's interesting.
I don't think that's illegal. It's your right. Bought the tickets.
True.
Yeah.
But I do think this fight was completely staged. I think that he could have easily knocked him out. I think it might have been in the fourth round or so. He did get a couple of hits on Logan Paul, and Logan Paul absolutely slumped. I don't think he was knocked out, to say, but I do think that it could have been a knockdown if he would have let him fall. But he didn't. He held him up, and then the round ended. And then they kept going, and after that, any big significant punches, any significant falls, anything like that, I think they both took it over and mutually agreed, okay, we'll put $1 million down that will both last at least 4 rounds. It lasted the 4 rounds, and then it was like, all right, like whatever happens, happens. They doubled their money after they made it past the 4 rounds. They beat the odds, and then they made it the whole distance. I think that Floyd
I think there's a
easily
little
knocked him
collusion.
out. He was controlling the whole fight. His stats were amazing after the fight. He was over 50% on jabs. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the fight. My friend actually watched it through an illegal. It was off. We watched the fight off TikTok. And
I did too.
I was, yeah. Was it that Danny
How'd
Hands
you guys
guy?
do that?
Did you watch it through that Danny Hands guy?
Oh, my guy's name was Cloudy Days, and he was
Oh my god,
incredible.
yeah, this guy was like Danny Hands was his freaking name, and I so told him like he just trying to keep advertising himself, but whatever. But I watched the fight, and it's just Logan Paul is just I don't know. It was just a joke. Like I don't know. Like,
Oh no.
Logan Paul was out there.
That day.
Logan Paul was out there trying a little bit, but Floyd. I mean, if Floyd was in his prime, he would been knocked down the first round. But Floyd, I think, kind of took it easy on him there. I mean, it wasn't even that good. Like the McGregor Mayweather fight was like good. I was like, oh, this is good. It actually, I think, was worth more of the money to watch that. It was McGregor is a good fighter. McGregor is not even a boxer, but McGregor is a UFC fighter, so at least he had a chance. Logan Paul is just like a amateur boxer who barely he's fighting against maybe arguably the greatest boxer, and Floyd Mayweather didn't like. I think I agree with Elliot on this one. I think Floyd just was just like this guy literally wants to fight me.
It's all about the money. That's why they call him.
Fighting is about money. It's all about money.
He had that one comment after the fight. He's like, yeah, if there was the greatest person to ever swindle people out of their money, it was me. He said
he's a legal bank robber, he said.
He really is.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I see it, yes, this was for entertainment. They made a shit ton of money. Do I think Floyd would have knocked him out for real? No. Floyd's older now. He's a defensive fighter. We've seen that in his actual past fights leading up to this. If Floyd had that power, he would have knocked him out, but he didn't. I didn't see it happening, but I kind of figured it would end up going the distance unless Logan Paul somehow magically knocked Floyd out.
He tried to get down in the first round. Like at the end, he just started throwing wild punches. He was like either the first round or going the distance.
Yeah.
After he did the first round, he was tired. After he threw all those wild haymakers, he was done. You could see it in his face. You could see him.
Yeah, he was fighting against the greatest boxer of our time. I mean, the guy, he was scared out there. He talked the talk, and he went out there, got all the money he needed, but once he got in the ring, he was scared out there.
Did you see KSI's comment on the fight? He's like, well, if Logan Paul beat Mayweather and I beat Logan Paul, and I must be the greatest boxer of all.
Yeah, was it Jake Paul? Was like Jake Paul claimed that Logan won. I was like, dude, come on, man.
And then he called out what's his name? Jose.
I don't.
Zeko? No, that's a baseball player.
I know Jake Paul was talking shit to Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo. Yeah. He like subtweeted him and he's like, yeah, like let's fight.
Yeah, that's a different.
And I think
Jake Paul would
like,
get knocked.
I sell more pay-per-views than you. It was a straight up diss. I don't think that fight will happen though. I think if he did, he'd get his booty cheeks absolutely raw.
I'm just saying, can we like have fights where there's like real boxers again? Like what? Like why are we like these like last couple months? It's like Jake Paul versus like Nate. Like come on, like can we get like?
It's working though. It's bringing a lot more life back into the boxing ring.
Yeah, I mean, but it's time to. I agree, but it's time to get some real fighters in there. Like there was one night my friend and I were watching. Like, I'm not really a big boxing guy, but we were watching a couple fights, and that was real boxing. But the Jake Paul Logan Paul fight was, or the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight was just a joke. Like that's why I was not spending the money to watch a fight that against one of the greatest boxers ever against an amateur who boxed. He trains. I mean, I'll give Logan Paul the credit. He's really putting in the work, the fight, and has the guts to fight Floyd. I mean, whatever. But the guys, I mean, come on, like,
what made boxing so incredible in the old ages was the ego of the boxers.
And they all have egos,
the biggest
though.
egos, and that's what they're trying to redrive.
But they've had egos since. I mean, I feel like every McGregor had an ego,
which is why they are the best.
Floyd Mayweather has an ego. I mean, they all have egos.
Logan Paul and Jake Paul and taking out Floyd Mayweather and showing that's how it became famous and became one of the best boxers because of his ego. Even Mike Tyson was like, yeah, the reason why I was so good is because of my ego. My trainer would always tell me, like, whoever has the biggest ego in the ring has the best chance of winning. And after he stopped fighting, he realized that his ego made him win, but it also got in the way of a lot of the things that he did in his personal life because he lost friends, he lost family, because people just couldn't put up with how macho libre he was and the ring.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Mike Tyson had a really screwed up upbringing too. Like, can't forget. Yeah, like Mike Tyson's upbringing was just really bad. You know what I mean? So, you know, he went to jail, didn't he? Didn't he go to jail for a while as a kid? Like juvie?
I mean, he was in trouble a lot, but you know, the way I see this fight is I see it as just an entertainment event, not a boxing match. There was boxing involved, but this is all an entertainment thing.
It was entertainment, get people's money. Come on.
Yeah,
what
and
it looked like to me was a big family reunion with the family you haven't seen in years. You come up, like, how's it going? And then you give them a big hug, and then that's all it was. It was just like, hey, man.
Well, yeah, like if you're a boxing promoter, why wouldn't you schedule an exhibition between a very popular guy with young kids and one of the greatest ever? And then you draw all these new eyes to the sport. Like, it's perfect marketing. Mm-hmm. And I think that Logan and Floyd both did a fantastic job selling the fight. And it's definitely going to change how marketing's done in the future of the sport. The end of story.
I want to know what the promoter was thinking, though, having it in Miami in an open arena when it was raining. Half the fighters were falling on the ground because it was just so slippery. It was raining.
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about it. They wanted to host it in Las Vegas, and the Vegas Commission said no. Then they wanted to host it in like.
Hey, why did the Vegas Commission say no? Actually,
I don't know the reason for that. This is what I like heard about it. So the Vegas Commission said no. They wanted to do it in 2 other places. Didn't do it there. So they were like, fine, I guess we'll do Miami. Like, it'll be fun anyway. But, you know, for what it's worth, like, that was a nice setup. They had a cover over top of everything, so no one really got rained on that badly. But, yeah, I like the idea of having an entertainment event to draw in new eyes. Obviously, this is not something I want to see all the time. I want to see real fighting. But this is perfect to do every once in a while, get an exhibition going between greats, between influencers. Keep this sport relevant, keep it alive. It's overall, it's going to work out for their benefit in the future.
Yeah.
I want to see Jake Paul have like at least 3 or 4 more fights, get his name out there. Logan Paul the same way. And then a Logan Paul versus Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That has to happen.
It has to. It's going to be the fight of the century. I
don't know about that, but it'll be entertaining.
Have you guys seen the memes of where I think it's Jake Paul doing the drawing of the Disney logo? Mm-hmm. It shows him like
I can't stand Jake Paul. I cannot stand Jake Paul. I
don't like Jake Paul.
He's good at what he does.
He's a good marketer. The Pauls both are. I like Logan now, though. Logan's not completely ridiculous. He's actually like a legitimate person in society now.
I loved his he said it a few times. He's like, the fact that we're even fighting proves that we're in a simulation.
Oh my god.
And he was talking with Jake Paul, and Jake was just like, yeah, like, are you scared about this fight? He's like, no, not really. I mean, the aliens are coming in June. We don't have anything to worry about. I'm just gonna have fun out there. It's all whatever. Like if I get beat up, like I
It
mean,
happens.
expecting me to win anyways. But if I do win, then shoot, I really am the Maverick.
It's true. All right, on to topic 2 of the day. Let's break down this Julio Jones trade. Something that I am in love with at the moment.
I'm mad that we didn't get him. Like Patriots all along, he wanted to come to New England, and now
he even said the Patriots lost again.
Patriots could have. I mean, I'm happy with Belichick. What he used, Belichick was aggressive this offseason, and I was really happy with it. But why not keep going and just get a second round pick that you're probably going to draft like a freaking safety out of like Alabama State? Go trade for Julio Jones, Belichick. Like
Cam Newton needs.
He wanted to come to New England. It wasn't like, oh, I hate New England. Like other Boston heroes, Anthony Davis. Did Anthony Davis really want to come to Boston? But this is different. Like this guy wanted to play with Cam Newton, and Cam Newton's been getting a lot of heat, but man, I could have really helped Cam Newton too, like have a better season.
Yeah, we're taking some pressure off of him for sure.
Yeah, I mean Cam better do well this year. I mean, he's still got the weapons.
He's losing his spot after this year if he doesn't.
I mean, I think I'm really interested to see what happens to Cam this year, but Cam Newton's the biggest question, I think, in my opinion, on the Patriots. If he can play well, Patriots could contend for a Super Bowl, I think. I mean, that's not crazy to say that, but I do think that the Patriots could contend if Cam plays well, because our defense is elite. We have a great defense. You're a Patriots fan, Elliot, and it's not like I'm a biased Patriots fan. Like,
no.
We weren't good last year, and we went 7-9. We have the best coach in the game. Now we have two elite tight ends,
like Jameis Winston and at the Bucks.
better receivers, a great running
These
game.
Pat fans are in denial. It's okay to suck. I'm a Dolphins fan.
We sucked last
Chill
year.
out.
I
understand.
We spent so much money on Pro Bowl players. Why? And we have the best coach in the league.
The Dolphins' Messiah.
Dolphins will be good, but maybe
he is. I mean,
Dolphins will be good, but
he's gonna bring you to the Mecca.
But yeah, this Falcons Titans trade. Everyone in the front office of the Falcons needs to be fired.
Yeah, and the Falcons
Titans org is genius. They need to re-sign Will Compton, and then they are going to the Super Bowl. No, I'm just kidding, but they have a good shot.
Is the Falcons just keep screwing up. The Falcons
they're unstoppable. Their self-esteem is going to be through the roof. Egos also, just like we said earlier, through the roof. Derrick Henry is one of the best running backs in the league. Plus, you had a veteran with Julio Jones. How can you fail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no saying that their offense is ridiculous, but they need to beef up the defense in order for them to get to where they need to be. They honestly look like a gym rat who's been skipping leg day. That's kind of what they're looking like at the moment. Top half is all offense, bottom half is the defense. And it's once they start hitting those leg presses and squats, they'll be looking good.
Now, on a psychological aspect, would you guys say this would revolve around like reward incentive theory, where it's better to go to a team where you have a chance of having that reward of the Super Bowl win, or sticking with a team that loves you in the fan base and staying with that culture, or would you rather just go for the throttle and try to win a title?
Here's what I'll say. Julio dedicated a massive chunk of his career to an organization that let him down.
He wasted a lot of his career in Atlanta. He almost had a Super Bowl, but
they completely let him down. So if I'm Julio, I'm getting out of there. I'm enjoying myself at the Titans. I'm going to win a Super Bowl eventually.
Yeah.
I am not getting caught in all the drama that the Falcons are dealing with, especially with Matt Ryan on his way out the door in a few years.
Yeah.
They have no running game. They have a decent receiving core still, but that team is in shambles.
The Falcons are slowly. I mean, the Falcons just keep screwing up. The decisions they're making. I mean, they've drafted some good players, but man, like especially offensively, the Kevin Ridley. I mean, I think Kyle Pitts is going to be a stud. Matt Ryan was a great pick in 08, but this to me again just shows you that like the trade. I mean, the Patriots could have easily given him a second round pick. The Titans just absolutely finessed the Falcons. I mean, the Titans didn't give up barely anything for arguably the greatest receiver in our time and in the league. Still, he's still on the right team. On the right team, he could still be the best receiver in the league. He's got the speed, the hands, the height. The guy's a winner. The guy's a great player, hard worker. I mean, this is a Titans team. I mean, remember, they're gonna have AJ Brown as their second receiver. That is, I mean, when I lost Corey Davis and Johnny Smith, I'm like, oh, Tennessee, they're kind of in this little awkward phase. But now you bring in Julio. That's a combining Johnny Smith and Corey Davis. That's just way better. And then you still got King Henry in the backfield. The guys, when Julio, like the Falcons were such a pass heavy team. The Titans are a run heavy team. And now this team is going to, that's why a team like this could beat the Chiefs, could beat the Bills, could even beat the Patriots, Dolphins, any of these teams, because they're going to be so well balanced.
So many options.
What are you saying?
There's so many options.
Yeah. But the balance, that's the thing I kind of was looking at. I thought of that, like the balance they're going to have offensively with elite running back in it. Now the two elite receivers and a quarterback, I don't know, can win a Super Bowl and Ryan Tannehill, but you never know at this point. He's got everything he needs. So,
I mean, if I'm in the Titans front office, my number one priority at this point, beefing up the defense, re-signing Will Compton. If you don't do that, you're wasting your time here at this point. Yeah, you got Julio. You got a great offense. But, I mean, what's the point when the defense is going to let up 40 points a game minimum? So, I'm not saying that they're that bad, but, you know, you got to beef up this defense if you're going to have this juggernaut offense. It has to be done.
Yeah.
So, overall, I like the trade for the Titans. Everyone in the Falcons should be fired. I'm super happy for Julio. He deserves this more than anyone else in the game. His self-esteem is going to be through the roof. The man, I could see him balling out, taking over that number one spot in the league this year for yards. Maybe even get a little red zone TD action for the first time.
You got 3 red zone. AJ Brown and Julio Jones and Derrick Henry all in the red zone. That is scary.
That is scary.
Even Ryan Tannehill can tuck down and run. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is pretty athletic. I mean, this is crazy.
Bro, that's as scary as facing the Nets at full capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and with that, I guess let's move into a little bit of playoff talk before Ben's breakdown.
Yeah, so Clippers win. Kawhi saves. I mean, I've always been a Kawhi fan, so I'm glad he got the dub. I do like Luka too, but I really hope the Clippers do make it far. I mean, this is. My friend and I argued about this. Like, I think Kawhi is definitely a top 30, 20 player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I mean, the guy, he's not flashy. He's just kind of like a Tom Brady-esque. Guy's a winner, quiet. Tom Brady's not very quiet, but Kawhi is just, he goes out there and balls, and I'm happy he won. I mean, Paul George needs to play, but Paul George, I mean, the reason why the Clippers lost last year was really, I mean, Kawhi didn't play great in the bubble, but that series against the Nuggets, but Paul George sucked. You know, you need some help with Kawhi. I mean, Kawhi turned the Raptors team with DeRozan and Lowry. He made the Raptors team win a title. I don't care if the Warriors were hurt. The Raptors won the East that year and won the title. And a strong Eastern Conference that year. He won with
It was the downfall of the Warriors.
It was. But I'm saying Kawhi, yeah.
Kawhi is so over-exaggerated.
Kawhi made the Raptors into he made Siakam look. I mean, look at Siakam's garbage now. I mean, he's good, but he's not like the Raptors were terrible this year. Look at what Kawhi did with the Raptors. Also, Luka is a beast, but the Mavericks are going to win a title. I think Luka is going to be.
I think Kristaps is going to move.
I didn't hear that.
Needs to go.
Hey, can we get off topic a little bit here though? How about these trade rumors seen up already? Maybe Damian Lillard to the Boston Celtics.
No, he's coming to the Heat.
No.
He's going to the Heat. He's going
the Celtics need to get rid of Kemba. We get Jason Kidd on the Celtics. Jason Kidd on the Celtics. Get out of here.
He's not going to the Celtics. Don't
Porzingis?
They're racist, remember? You don't want to be on the Celtics.
No. Come on. That's just Kyrie talking. But and then I mean, what do you guys think
He's
about?
coming to the Heat, man. That's what I think.
Oh no.
No.
But yeah, that was a legacy series for the Clippers. Kawhi is nasty. We saw it this series. Dude averaged 30 points a game with a 60% field goal percentage.
Who's winning this Jazz series though? Who's winning these Jazz? I mean, I want to see the Jazz in the finals. So
Jazz might sneak it out a little bit. But,
Jazz are good.
I'm loving this. I'm loving the Western Conference, guys. Clippers, Jazz, Nuggets, and Suns. Teams we have not seen like in the like the Nuggets made it pretty far last year, but God, it's so nice to see some new teams other than the Warriors, Lakers, and
this is the first time in 10 years that both LeBron and Steph Curry
good grief,
in
man.
the finals.
Yeah,
that just shows how good they are.
Hawks. So the Hawks beat the Sixers, guys. What do you think of that? I watched a little bit of that game, and man, the Hawks are sneaking up on people.
Bro.
Trae Young's nasty.
How about this one? Bogdan Bogdanovic. I can't even say his name right. This guy almost went to the Bucks. I'm saying if he's on the Bucks have a way better chance of beating the Nets. Now that he's on, look what he's doing with the Hawks. The Hawks are really looking sharp. I don't think they can beat the Nets, obviously, but the Sixers, they could beat the Sixers. You never know.
I think it'll be a good series. Depends what happens if the Sixers are healthy or not.
Clint Capella on Joel Embiid, that's a good matchup defensively. And you got John Collins. That's good. Hawks have some good interior players too.
I mean, if you're watching this series, your X factor is Joel Embiid's health. If he's healthy, then I don't think the Hawks are going to win. If he's not, you have to run an offense through Ben Simmons, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
You can't shoot a basketball.
It's really going to come down to that at the end of the series.
Well, he doesn't know how to shoot about basketball, so, you know.
Hot take, I originally thought the Jazz are going to make it to the finals, but I think the Suns have
I'm a big Suns guy.
Suns beat the Lakers, and guys, what's up? LeBron losing for the first time in the first round. I mean,
their only competition right now is the Joker. That's about as far as it goes.
I don't know. You could tell me.
home.
You could tell me maybe I actually because Jamal Murray's out. But if you're talking about the whole playoff, the Western Conference, I mean the Suns are good, but it's gonna be interesting. I mean, you got the Clippers and Kawhi and Paul George still. So
I don't think they make it to the finals. I don't think they are built correctly to make it there.
Yeah,
George, I think, is gonna choke just like he did last year. I think Kawhi can't do it by himself.
No, he can't.
All that with the Raptors. It took the whole Warriors team getting injured for him to win a title. I just don't see it. I think the Jazz might be able to overcome them. Besides that, the Nets have it all the way.
That's guys, and that's let's be honest here. My friend and I told my friend this back in freaking March. When they are healthy, when the Brooklyn Nets are a healthy team, and James Harden didn't even play last night.
James Harden, he's out because of hamstring tightness.
He's resting, okay?
This
Nets team
is
not beatable. It's not beatable. And Giannis can put up 60 and 20 rebounds. The Bucks are not gonna win. The Nets are too good. Even the Nets role players are good.
Traded.
Joe Harris, you got Shaman. I mean, even that James guy who's going off the other night. I mean, how can you tell me Blake Griffin? I mean, they lost the game. This team, they're not going to lose.
Blake Griffin was a great player for the Pistons. It's just
Blake Griffin's an all-star on the Pistons. Probably. It's just like it doesn't. No one's beating the Nets. It's okay. The Celtics actually got a game out of the Nets, and I'm proud of the Celtics for winning. But God, no one's beating the Nets if the Nets are healthy. Period.
I want to see a Suns-Nets finals if possible, but I would love for the Suns to win.
And Chris Paul win a ring over the dynamic trio of like satanic glory, because all three of them are a bunch of like horned devils. And
they really are. They're all snakes. They call them snakes. Kevin Durant's a snake. Kyrie's
Kyrie's a snake. KD's a snake. And James Harden is a baby back something.
He really is. Yeah.
I guess we gotta talk about the biggest storyline of this playoffs. LeBron James is first rounded. My pick as the only team to beat the Nets is first rounded.
LeBron
That's
is
tough.
Have
That's
you guys heard the statistic where, right before Space Jam 1 was released?
Yeah, he talks about Space Jam in his press
Won a
conference.
title, right? And right before Space Jam 2 is released, LeBron James gets exited in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for this day for a long time, I guess.
It took only like 15 years for it to happen. So,
I mean, I honestly feel kind of bad, but like I've been waiting to see him not do well and see how he rebounds. But this is the first time, and I hate it. I don't like not having LeBron in the playoffs.
I love it. New
like
players,
Steph Curry
new stars. Let's go.
I said I wanted Steph Curry in from the jump.
I need to watch Steph Curry, man. He's one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah.
Being able to see Curry magic, I gotta rely on Devin Booker for Devin Booker magic.
Yeah.
Did you see him roll up in the Cadillac?
D-Books.
With the
gold
gold
is savage, bro.
Every year the All-Star game.
I love D-Book.
He really is the man. That guy gets stumped every year from the All-Star game.
All love to Chris Paul too. Chris Paul
changed the team. Chris Paul's the reason why the Suns are even that good.
He deserves it.
All right, ready to...
Have you guys seen the new LeBrons that came out for Space Jam?
No.
I've seen the trailer.
For our listeners, you should look them up. Look up the new Space Jam LeBrons. They are absolutely fuego.
Take a look.
You can take a look?
Yeah.
They are so nice.
Let me take a look as well.
Ooh. I like those.
Ooh, I do like
Kings.
Oh, cool. Yeah, look at that.
Those are kind of nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah, so LeBron's first rounded. We got a crazy playoffs. I mean, what a year in the NBA. It's crazy.
To all the Heat fans, I guess it was just bubble ball, which got you on to the finals.
Yep. Nah, the Lakers are good.
What are you talking about as a Celtics fan who is in the conference finals in the bubble? You're irrelevant too. Welcome to the club. Shut your mouth. Yeah, high five, man. Trying to call me irrelevant, bro. What is that?
We're both irrelevant. Okay, we're both irrelevant. All right, we'll be back.
Irrelevant together.
It's all right. It's all right, Elliot. When Damian Lillard's on the Celtics and Jason Kidd's our head coach, it's gonna happen.
Get rid of Kemba. Goodbye. Maybe
Kemba.
Even a Marcus Smart too, if we want Damian Lillard.
You know what, man? Marcus Smart's a great guy, but you know what? Honestly, dude, why don't you try to keep Marcus Smart? Trade like Naismith or someone like that. Get Lillard. That'd be lit.
Hey, Dame Dalla, if you're watching this, I'll see you in South Beach next year, and I'll buy you a beer.
Dame, you come to Boston. Dame's gonna be up in New England.
No one wants to go to Boston. I'll see you in South Beach, buddy.
We'll hit the beaches overrated. Together. Huddle. It's overrated. Boston's just as nice.
If you're listening to me,
never been to Miami.
I have been to Miami. I'm kidding, but Boston's fun.
Come to the South.
Hey, Boston. Hey, Damian Lillard wants the real sports fans though. Boston sports, right there. Boston sports.
We will ride or die for you.
Ride and die. Boston fans will ride. As long as you do well for you, they'll love you to the end of the day.
As long as you don't step on our logo and spit in our faces.
Actually, no. Damian Lillard is not like Kyrie though. There's no way. Damian Lillard stayed loyal to the Blazers. Good for him. To Kyrie Irving, if he's on the Blazers, Kyrie Irving would be crying every night.
Come to South Beach with a better team than the Celtics. It's an easy chip for you.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
I mean, you made it to the bubble finals. You didn't. End of story.
He did not make it to the bubble finals. But he
Who would you get rid of to get Damian? Goran?
Yeah, I'd probably get rid of Dragic. I may even send Hero away. I want Damian Lillard on my squad.
You might have to send Ty away. Mr. Tyler Hero might have to go to Portland. Yeah.
I would love Lillard to be on my squad. Just imagine, though. Lillard, Jimmy Buckets, and Bam.
That's a good team.
That's a solid trio right
Just
there.
imagine Damian
If
Lillard.
you follow
Jason
basketball, that's a solid trio.
Tatum. Just imagine Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Robert Williams. Come on, like.
All we need is a nice center, or unless we play two-way basketball, just small.
If Robert Williams could stay freaking healthy, the Celtics would be like. Robert Williams is really good if he stays healthy.
Dude is an insane. He's a block machine.
He blocks everything. I mean, yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. If he stays healthy, you got 3 scores: Tatum, Lillard, and Brown next year. Hello, that team's winning a title.
It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And if the Heat don't get Dame Dalla, I will settle with CJ McCollum. I'm a big fan of him too.
Yeah,
so I'll take one of the two at the end of the day.
Y'all don't need CJ though.
Why not?
Have shooting guards and small forwards. You don't need CJ.
What do you mean?
You don't need him. Like, what's the point of having CJ? Yeah.
He has 30 points a game. What do you mean? Why would I want him?
I want
He's a walking bucket
on the Celtics, but you know what's never going to happen? That, because you know what? We have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Well, because the thing is, Damian Lillard was working on the
forward
Celtics.
And a shooting guard.
Yeah, we have because Jaylen Brown's a shooting guard and Tatum can be it's a power forward / small forward. Lillard's a point guard. It'd be perfect.
It would be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Give us the ring. We need our ring.
No, they're saying Bradley Beal too. Or Kristaps Porzingis and Bradley Beal too are Celtics on the Celtics radar too. How would you feel about Porzingis?
I don't know. Someone needs to come to the Heat this offseason. I need a new jersey.
Yeah.
I don't think Kristaps wants to be a role one player, and that's why he doesn't like being on the Mavs, is because he felt he's
not going to be role one on the Celtics either. So no.
Yeah, exactly. They're like a dynamic duo, if you want to say it, but in that role, he never was treated like the next favorite. It was Luka. It was the Luka and Doncic show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Porzingis needs to be traded. Just let him go roam on his own team.
Put him on the Knicks.
Don't see it working.
Put him on the Knicks.
Why would he not go to?
Who is Randall now though?
There's no shot he goes back there. All right. This is going to wrap up our playoff talk / free agency signings. Let's move on to Ben's breakdown. So, Ben, what do you got for us today?
Yeah, so nothing too big. For all you soccer fans out there, we're going to go to soccer. We got the Euros coming up on Friday. Kind of creeped up on me. I'm a big I do like soccer. It's a good sport, and I think the Euros are the second best tournament behind the World Cup. So, for all you guys out there, I hope will be interesting to see who's good in the Euros, because that always kind of hints to the World Cup, which is next year in Qatar in the winter. So in the next year and a half, so it'll be really interesting to see who's going to be good. There's a lot of young talent out there: France, Germany, Spain. It's going to be good. Second topic: Team USA guys beats Mexico in the CONCACAF, whatever we call it. Finals, and I think this is a big step for Team USA. What do you guys think of USA winning? I mean, we beat Mexico, a team that gets a lot of hype, probably the best team in North America, and we beat them. And Mexico's hung in there with some really good teams in the World Cup.
We're never gonna lose again. We're winning it all. Team USA till I die.
Hey,
I believe, despite popular belief, I believe that we have a chance to win. So Team USA, red, white, and blue.
Team USA. I mean, listen, Team USA. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, this team has a lot of talent. A lot of guys. The last 4 years, a lot of guys now are playing in Europe, which is a good thing. So, guys like if people, you got Christian Dest playing with Lionel Messi in Barcelona. Christian Pulisic playing in Chelsea. I mean that Chelsea's a great team. I mean, it's crazy what we're Americans playing in Europe. So these Americans that are playing in Europe are playing with these South American stars, these European stars, and it's all the plays rubbing on them, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they translate that in the qualifiers, and hopefully they'll be in the World Cup next winter. And then the last topic I found, I saw this earlier, the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you guys think of this? The Steelers plan on having Mason Rudolph as the future and starting QB of the Steelers. Do you guys actually believe that?
For maybe a year.
No
I
way,
could
though.
see it, but
Mason Rudolph is a starting QB in Pittsburgh.
I see Ben leaving, probably after this year.
Is Mason Rudolph the future, though? Like, that's what
no.
It's a little
I
random,
don't
but
want to trust my entire organization.
because my mom's family's Steeler fans. Steelers are behind the Patriots have been one of the best teams in our childhood, and it'll be really interesting. The Steelers are going to take a steep downhill in the next couple of years because they're getting old. I mean, Big Ben's old. They have some good young receivers, but that's the thing. I mean, if they can plug in a good quarterback, maybe like Dwayne Haskins, is Mason Rudolph even good? I mean, maybe their Steelers are going to be good for another 5-10 years with the young talent on the offense they have now. Najee Harris and Clay with Maple Traum, Clay slash Chase Claypool, Juju and Deontay Johnson. It's gonna be really interesting. So that's really it. I just had a couple quick topics. Yeah, we can go to the draft now.
Yeah. So today's draft, we have the hardest positions in sports. Again, normal 5-round draft. The order today is me, then Ben, then Elliot. So, yeah, I guess let's get into it. With the first pick, I am taking a goalie / keeper in soccer. I mean, it's almost impossible to do that. You have to be on top of it. It's a big net. And, yeah, it's almost impossible to do. So, keeper.
All right, that's a good first pick. Wasn't going to be my first pick at all, but all right. Ben, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the hardest. Here we go. I'm gonna go with guys. I mean, the quarterback, QB in football. You have to. I mean, think of much. I mean, if you played football, I mean, you have to know the playbook ins and outs. You gotta. I mean, I think this is the harder. I mean, this might even be harder than being a goalkeeper in soccer. Listen, being a goalkeeper in soccer is harder when there's a breakaway and or if there's a PK. But a QB, you gotta know how to read the defenses. You gotta be able to know every route, know the audibles of every play, read every defense, change the play. Look at someone like Tom Brady. It's just the way he's so good. He masters the playbook. He knows where everyone is on the field. He knows where his receivers are on the field at all times. And even Brady can improv. Like, you got to know how to improv plays if there's no one open, be able to get out of the pocket. I mean, that is a hard position. You got to know a lot of stuff. I mean, I think this is maybe hard. I think it's the hardest one. And so, yeah.
That was definitely on my list. So thank you for that one. My first pick is going to be the catcher in baseball. You're catching 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. You're catching sliders, curveballs, change-ups. From the best to ever do it. And in the pitcher, you also have to know where to throw it. You got to be able to throw it down to second base. You got to be able to call plays. You're basically the quarterback of the infield. So that's super tough to do, and it takes the most IQ out of any of the spots on the baseball field to master. So that's my first pick. My second pick is the cornerback. The cornerback of the football team, because you're playing against the shiftiest players on the field.
It's hard. I mean, listen, that's hard. It's hard. You gotta be fast. You gotta know how to. No, I'm sorry, because I played corner. It is a hard position. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's so like," like people crap on the corners. Like, yeah, exactly. It's pressure's on you, man, on the defense. You gotta be able to cover, and you gotta be able to make it go up and make the tackles. Keep the running back inside, not to don't let you're the last key of defense, especially on the outside.
They're playing against the best catchers in the league. And you just try, and if you get broke, you're going to be on every possible, like, Instagram page, Twitter post. You're all over the place when you get broke.
Look at Josh Norman, that guy, by Derrick Henry. Hey, the thing is you look at it, the corner too, and that's why I'm talking about a lot, because I was going to say this one too. You also don't know what what route the receiver's running. You gotta know. You don't know what he's doing. The receiver knows what he's doing. The corner has no idea. You have to be able to stay with him, and then say you're a short corner, you got to cover someone like Julio, even with perfect coverage, you can still catch that, or a Gronk or someone like that. Or if you're someone's really fast like Tyreek Hill, and you could be a good corner, but if you're not fast enough out there against someone like Tyreek Hill, man, you're screwed 1-on-1. So.
All right, what's your second pick, man?
Yeah, no, to me. This is all right. How about a oh, guys, yeah, how about a left tackle in football?
Crucial.
Left tackle in football, guys. I mean, think of it. You're playing now in today's game. You're playing against some quick guys on the edge. You know, Von Miller, Khalil Mack. You know, there's just a Forrest Buckner. These guys in 2021 NFL or any college, these guys are quick. These guys are getting to the edge. These guys are fast. These guys aren't slow DNs like old school football. They're fast. You got to be able, and as a tackle, you're a big guy, most of you. So you got to be athletic too. You got to be able to get out there. And it's the quarterback. Most, unless you're lefty, it's the QB's blind side. So you're out there protecting the QB's life pretty much from a huge, fast DN coming on the edge. So I think that's one of the hardest positions in any sport.
All right. With my second pick, I'm going to take hockey goalie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know about you guys. I don't want to. What?
A whole lot of goalies on your team.
Well, when it's the hardest positions in sports to do, I mean, trying to stop a 100-mile-an-hour slap shot while doing a full split in full gear.
You're getting screened. You can't see anything.
Yeah, like that does not sound fun to me. I would never want to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna do a hockey goalie, and then
I already got my next two picks.
Yeah, man.
Let's go, guys.
All right, guys, good for you. I'm still thinking because I wanted to go catcher, so I haven't done that. Yeah. I would have to say being a center in football. Because as a center, it's up to you to direct the offensive line. You have to snap the ball to the QB. Oftentimes, you do end up becoming a long snapper, which is hard to do. And you are in the trenches for a full 60 minutes blocking 300-pound men. So if I played on the offensive line and was a fullback, being on the offensive line is brutal. I get out of every game. I'd be bruised. I got a bunch of concussions. Like,
yeah,
being a center and having to direct it all,
bang,
it sucks.
Look at Mike Webster. I mean, that's an example.
Yeah, Mike Webster.
And in his Hall of Fame speech, I mean, before he was like really scraping the brain. I mean, how you just every play hits him in the head.
Yeah.
You're headbutting the guy every time it's as a center. So it takes a toll on your head as well.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, goalie and center in football.
Yeah. So actually, I'm surprised you didn't take this, guys. How about a pitcher in baseball? Especially a starting pitcher.
I was thinking about it.
Come on, pitcher in baseball. I mean, listen, that is a hard job. You got to be able to know what pitch Think of it. You got to know what you're throwing every play, every at bat. You got to know how each batter plays, what side they're on, what pitch to throw on that specific count. I mean, if say it's a 2-1 ball game in the 9th inning and bases are loaded, I mean that's all on you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, like the pitcher, that is a hard, mentally stressing job. You gotta know what pitcher you're throwing. You even got the fans. You're especially for a closer or you say you're a reliever, a closer. You come in and you're up by 2 or 3 runs. You blow that, it's all on you, man. You get you get the loss. It's on you.
All right. So my next pick is a golfer. It's an individual sport, so all the pressure is on you. You alone. You can't. The slack can't be picked up by anyone else. It's all on you. And hitting those shots are incredible. You're driving the ball 200 yards, and to get it close to that small hole is incredibly difficult. All of the mental aspects all revolve around you. You have to be good. If you're not good, then your team's not good because you're the whole team. So I think that's one of the most difficult positions because it is the only position in its sport. And then my next one is a lacrosse goalie. because you guys have taken all other goalies. I'm going to go with this goalie. You're saving balls that are going 100 miles an hour, bouncing up and in, going. They can hit the top of the rim and go in. You can get screened on. You're wearing like no padding. When you're a goalie for hockey, you're wearing a lot of padding, but in lacrosse, you wear maybe a chest piece, and a helmet, and maybe some arm gear, but that's about it. So you're risking your life every time you go out there and break your knee, break your legs, I don't know, your foot or something, and it's definitely a really hard position to play. Those are my next two.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go to some racing guys. Being a Formula One driver, that is really hard.
That is tough.
Not many people can even race F1. It's hard to even get into. Like, you know what I mean? There's only 50, but that is a hard job.
Courses alone are incredible. Like surviving.
You gotta. It first of all, you're risking your life more than any sport out there. Going almost 200 miles per hour on these little, especially F1 racer. You're going
over 200 miles an hour.
You gotta be hydrated, conditioned. You gotta have good hand-eye coordination. This is not just like these F1 racers are actually in really good shape. You gotta be able to know how the car works. You gotta be able to know, like, you have to steer it. It's insane, and you're driving so fast. You gotta be in good shape. You gotta have you gotta be conditioned. You gotta have good, like I said, hand-eye. Repeating it, but that is racing, like F1, man. After watching that show, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about?
Drive to Survive.
Drive to Survive. That's a great name for it. It's survival out there. It is hard. So
it's a good pick.
I mean, I've watched drivers die, like, on the screen.
Yeah.
Watching an IndyCar race and get in a bad crash and just not get up. And it's heartbreaking. And it's incredibly risky, especially being a family member, watching your husband or your wife go out and drive, and never knowing if they're going to pull back into the pit stop is so hard.
Look at Nicky Lauda, guys. He almost died too. I mean,
yeah, Dan Weldon.
Yeah.
Died. I watched that race when he died.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's hard.
Yeah.
Good pick.
So my next two picks are kind of the same. The first one is being a boxer. Being a boxer is brutal. You saw Logan Paul is in peak physical condition. He trained 6 to 8 months, and he was gassed after round 1. Like, boxing is brutal on the body. You could quite literally die if you get hit in the wrong spot. Like, it is one of the toughest things to do in sports. Granted, it makes you a lot of money, but it's brutal in the long run. And then the next thing I want to say is UFC/MMA fighter. You are quite literally going out there to try and almost kill someone, and you do not get paid that much to do it, but it is miserable. I would say it's definitely worse than boxing. People break bones all the time. It is a gross sport to watch if you have a weak stomach, and it is very hard to do. So, yeah, boxing and UFC are my final two picks.
Okay, so my last pick, it's with honor of the Olympics coming up in the next month. This one's, I don't know if you guys know this. How about being a gymnast? Because
gymnast
of how
is a hard one, man.
How flexible you have to be, and you're doing, I would have even done figure skating too, but doing flips, jumps in the air. You gotta be able to go up. I mean, that's scary what they're doing, especially like some of those things like I don't know if you guys saw Simone Biles. Like, that lady is unreal what she does.
Yeah.
Best at what she does.
And as a male gymnast, not only do you have to be flexible and elusive, you got to be strong too. So even because as a woman too, I'm just saying, as a male, you got to be strong, able to hold it. Because like the ring one where you have to hold it, and then as a female, just you got to have good core. You got to be strong. You got to be able to balance. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of aspects of gym that being a gymnast, and it's also a really short career. I mean, being a gymnast is like from 16 to 23. That's the average age in the Olympics. It's crazy. So yeah.
It was a toss up. This one just kind of just came in my head. I was gonna go wrestler, because they're literally flexing for the the whole entire time, and that's really hard to do. You're getting thrown around, you're getting beat up. But because UFC and boxing has already been taken, I'm gonna go with the swimmer. Being a swimmer is incredibly difficult. I tried to do it in high school as like conditioning on the side, and
you gotta be able to hold your breath a lot. And
you have to be in peak physical shape to be a good swimmer too. You basically have like 3% body fat, super jacked, not super jacked, but super toned, and you basically you're like a track star, but underwater. So you have to face all of those knots coming at you, which is incredible.
Yeah. Plus, you don't get a lot of money out of it.
No.
Like, unless you're Michael Phelps, swimming's hard.
Swimming's
hard, man.
Ryan Lochte,
I'm a floater. I like to float.
Yeah.
that's my thing. All right. I guess that wraps up our draft. So, any quick discussion you guys want to have before we end this?
I'm good.
I just want to say, further than tonight's games, I've got the 76ers over the Hawks, and because they're put to cover a 6-point spread. I don't think they're going to cover the 6-point spread. I think the Jazz have it over the Clippers. I think they will cover the 3-point spread. And that's it for tonight for the games. I think the Red Sox will beat the Astros.
Yeah. Red Sox are cooking.
I hope so.
How about that sweep against the Yankees this weekend? Oh, Yankees get all the hype, but the Red Sox are coming out. Once we get Chris Sale back, get a couple, maybe a trade or two.
It's over.
Listen, I'm hurting right now. I just received a report that the Yankees are going to be sellers at the deadline. I don't know how to feel about it. I can't confirm if it's true. If it is, I'm probably just going to hang up the baseball season for the rest of the year. Yeah, if you're a Yankee fan like me right now, it's tough out here.
Yankees Sox, baby. That's the division this year. It's like
so AL East is loaded now. It always has been, but now even more so.
Rays are looking really good.
Yankees they're struggling. I think we need to trade the power for someone who can get on base. Because, it's cool if you can hit homers, but a solo homer does no good when you're
Look at the Red Sox, man. The Red Sox players can get on base.
Yeah, so if I'm a Yankee front office guy, I'm looking at Ketel Marte. I'm looking at just literally anyone who gets on base. I'm trying to rebuild this team around on-base percentage and being willing to spend for these superstars. So that's about all I have to say on that. I'm very disappointed in the Yankee season so far. We should be doing way better than we are right now, but we can't seem to hit a ball to save our lives. So, that's all I have to say. Good for the Red Sox. They're finally they turned it around. I hope they beat the Astros. I hate the Astros.
Hey, Alex Cora, baby. That's 2 words, Alex Cora.
I just sound so dejected saying this. I am mentally, as a baseball fan, I'm not okay. That's, I guess, how I'll leave it. I'm not okay.
So many times. It's time I'm so sick and tired of hearing about him, too. Every year. Garrett Cole, Corey Kluber. Dude, it's like, when did they not get the best player in free agency? Or even the Dodgers. I hate, the Red Sox have gotten their good players, but come on. The Dodgers and the Yankees piss me off.
But most of the players we get, we have to build.
Yeah, and dude, even David, we got David Price. He was garbage, low key, and honestly.
Yeah, I mean, at that point he'd been traded.
It's not like Kluber was a superstar last year or the year before.
Good.
He fell off the ledge for 2 to 3 years.
Hey, we traded for Chris Sale. We didn't sign Chris Sale. We didn't.
I mean, we traded for Stanton. I don't know what you want us to say.
Yeah,
Most of our talent is homegrown, or they were minor leaguers when we traded for him.
Garrett Cole is not a minor leaguer.
Aside from Garrett Cole, obviously, if you weren't willing to pay Garrett Cole, what are you doing as a franchise?
Only the Yankees can afford him. That's the problem. That's
not true at all. That is not true.
Why are you not? Look, whatever.
Listen, Yankees have a lot of money because they won 27 rings.
Yeah, exactly.
Championships are a good thing to invest in with all those earnings. That's all I'll say. So yeah, that's it. I'm a salty Yankee fan right now. I'm struggling. I'm not happy. Jared Carabas is torching my team on Twitter every day. It's brutal out here. I'm upset.
Let's go. That sucks.
There it is. So the Yankees
Even the Rays, man,
are about
I'm
as
happy with the
irrelevant
Rays,
as the
man.
Celtics
Rays
are, as well as the Pats. So as long as we all have some common ground here, that's all I'll say.
All right.
But yeah, I'm struggling. So, all right. So that's going to wrap up this episode that took a terrible turn at the end. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you guys later.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of the Sport Mind Avenue podcast.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on our page. And stay tuned for more of our podcasts and exclusive content in the future.